Hey everybody, just another beautiful day out here in Mesa. So we're right by the corner of Mesa and Apache Junction, just north of the 60, out here by the 202 North. So we're looking at a modular home today, brought in. So the front of this house is facing north, so we've got all of our services are going north. We've got a septic tank out front, we've got our electrical service entrance right there on the east side. On the west side, we have a gate that goes underneath the carport, I guess, if you want to call that. It's not quite big for a carport, big enough for a carport over here. But this is also the side that the water line comes in from. So the water line goes into your main water shut-off device right there in the meter box. And then it comes underground through a copper pipe up through a pressure regulator. This pressure regulator is not working today because when we tested the water pressure right here, we were somewhere between 90 and 100. So this should knock it down to roughly 60. Yeah. You can adjust these. Anyway, we want to get that one fixed. Those don't last all that long. Those pressure regulators only get 5-7 years out of it before you start having some issues with it. So we do have some bonding here for the electrical system, for caulks going in through, and there is a lot of surface run Romex. See that wire up there going up to that light? That is all surface run Romex wire on the outside of this house. Quite a bit of it. So the siding is in good condition, but we have a lot of exposed fasteners starting to pop out. So not too concerning underneath the carport, right? But there's areas like that on both sides. And the skirting around it, there was no entrances. Again, more surface run Romex. You can't run wire on the outside of your house like that. If you drop a shovel head or something right onto that wire, you're gonna get electrocuted. So they just ran a bunch of wires out here to get some lighting. Windows are vinyl. They're in good condition. There's a couple springs that need to be repaired because they're not working quite right. Backyard, it's concrete block on the side, but then we've got the main, I think this is Broadway. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Broadway out here with a black fire hydrant. I don't know why that fire hydrant's black. It's kind of unusual, but it's right next to this drain. So the trees here are a little bit overgrown. They're older, so they're going to be a little bit bigger. We got to cut them back. We don't want termites, rats, anything like that using the trees to get onto your house and into your house. Now I know this looks kind of chopped up, but this is the only way I could get into the crawl space today. It's the only access I had. It wasn't even really an access. I just kind of took the vinyl skirting and pushed it out of the way. Hopefully I can get it back to where it goes. So in the middle of your crawl space, looks like they've done some replumbing with PEX. We do have a main copper line coming in right there, but the PEX has been distributed and tied into the system right here, where they had to pull the membrane down to get to it. So now we're missing some insulation. So a little bit of repair in this area to clean all that up and get it off the ground. That's just an easy access point for mice at this point. You always find the hitch for the modular house down here. AC unit, heat pump, Goodman unit, not sure of the size, not sure of the age. Pretty much everything is wore off the manufacturer's label here. Got the condensate line that looks like it's been out here for a long time just due to the blackness of the pipe. And this being wore out, this being wore out. This is telling me that it's a little bit of an older system. And it was making some goofy noise down here. There's some gurgling going on down here, and the splits inside the house were over 22 degrees, so you definitely need to get this looked at by an HVAC professional just to make sure everything is working right. Because it might be oversized, where actually the cooling temperatures on the inside were about 30 degrees, which we don't like to see more than 22 degrees. Yeah, that thing's gurgling down there. It's kind of hard to hear. More surface run Romex. Don't want any wiring exposed like this, not power wire that has 110 volts in it. and more fasteners that need to be sealed in. Call them nail heads just to be quick, but these are obviously screw heads. And your screen is missing, broken here. Got a couple little sheds in the back, not bad. Storing some stuff. I like how they make these sheds super short so the neighbors can't see them. Be a perfect size for my grandma. So step cracking, big tree, likely has to do with roots, watering. You know, they tried to stucco cover this so it kind of covered up all the little cracks, but stucco isn't really structural, so it filled in the gaps, but it's going to keep cracking. And we've got more conduit coming through here on the side of the house. We have a little window wall air conditioning unit, Samsung unit. It's actually working pretty good. More surface run row mix. Don't like to see that. This little shed on the side of the house. It's freezing in here. Pretty sure this is also the smoking room because it smells like damn ash tree in here. So I don't blame you for not wanting to smoke in your house. It's smoking out here and having a little air conditioner in the summertime. But this room stinks. Doesn't smell like weed, it just smells like ashes from cigarettes. But it's a little room, a little workshop you can use. Little Samsung units, missing its front, but it's putting out cold air. You can just see all the tar and smoke built up on the air conditioner. Just makes everything really sticky. And I gotta be careful because there are cameras on site. I know there's a camera inside, and then there's a camera, I believe, right back there. The stairs on both sides of the property going up into the house, neither of them are attached to the house. So it's not necessarily a safety problem, but look at all these gaps down here where, you know, a foot could slip. You could have a tripping issue there. Not super concerned about it, but you've got more than 4 inches space on these. You don't want a kid to stick their head through or fall down through here. So this is really a DIY step system. I'm going to point it out for safety reasons, but chances are they're just going to leave it. I don't blame them. I would leave it too. A little light switch for outside here, but yet you cannot use this wiring. Look at how damaged this wiring is getting because it's not in conduit. It's cracking, it's breaking. Looks like crap, so we need to get that fixed. And on the inside of the house, we walk right into the laundry room on this side. Laundry room also has your main electrical panel. You've got the omit furnace, that is off today. I also wanted to point out that these are GE breakers. Now this is a Cutler hammer panel with a GE breaker. Shouldn't have cross manufacturer brands in here. I'm sure you can find a Cutler hammer to fit there. 200 amp service, got a 200 amp service panel here, 200 amp service entrance right there that feeds it. Then we have a washer and dryer. We're usually going to have a water shut off in a modular house right in the laundry room right here, so you can shut everything right off there if you need to. We also have the one on the outside of the house. All the connections here are solid. These are original, right? So these are not updated at any point. Neither have the hoses been. We don't like to see rubber hoses. I'd like to see a stainless braided hose. Just in case this breaks, there's no shut off here. That'll just keep pouring water out. And another thing I noticed behind the laundry is, looks like they cut out a piece here to make some connections. Looks like they put a bunch of different piping in here. When they repiped the house, they needed access, so they cut a little panel down there so we could patch that up. Not a major problem, but your dryer vent does go down into the crawl space. We don't want it to discharge into the crawl space, we want it to discharge to the exterior. I did run both of the laundry systems today, the dryer and the washer. Both running fine. A little bit of damage here to the control panel, but still operational. Safety devices. Extra refrigerator in here. It's great. I thought at first maybe this would be the air handler, but it's not. They have a packaged unit outside, so this is just storage. And with your air filters here, air filter is a little bit thicker than we like to see, and a little bit dirtier than we would like to see. Also behind the air filter, this is kind of a dirty area in here. There's quite a bit of stuff built up on the walls in here, on the register going into it, so it would be smart to get this completely cleaned out, all the ducts, all the registers, just so you're not breathing in all that gunk. Kitchen itself, exterior ventilation for the microwave was working good. Oven was working good. I forgot to turn that off all the way. It does have an anti-tip device, so it's not going to fall over on top of us today or in the future. Cabinets have a little bit of minor damage to them. Laminate type panels get wet, especially by the sink. I'm going to start separating like that. There's a little bit of wear and tear on the corners here. This one's actually chipped out. Yeah, careful what you say. So the sink, you'll see here that it is dripping, leaking right there up at the top. So we're not going to run too much more water down that, but these hoses are very corroded. So this thing doesn't even want to bend anymore, and it doesn't want to go in right. You have to really push it in. So this is getting a little bit dated. Doesn't want to switch between the two very well either. A little bit of repair there. Dishwasher was working good. That's almost a new unit. And then your countertop cabinets over here are in good condition as well. There's a little bit of cracking going on in the ceilings. There's a little crack right there, which probably contribute to a little bit of settlement over the years. And then there's a little bit of cracking up on the ceiling, both here going straight, sheetrock crack, and then another sheetrock crack right there going right through. Master bedroom here, we've got fans with remotes mounted all over the house, so you can turn the light switch on and leave it on and just use the remotes for the fans. The vinyl windows are functional. This window here did not want to stay up, so you can see the hinge on the side is damaged there, and it doesn't want to close all the way. Can't get it to go down all the way to actually latch. So some repairs on that. Both sinks here, none of the drain stops are working on any of the sinks. It's because of this older downpipe that they're using on the sinks. The drain stops are all rusted out, so you can't use them anymore. Every single one of the sinks looks like this, and none of the drain stops are working. Not functional. A little bit of water damage down there from the past, and then these covers are falling off all the sinks too. Functional, definitely functional. Got the drain stop working on this one. I didn't think the drain stop was working. It gets a little bit sticky down there, but I did get it to pop open. In the master bathroom, the bathtub down here, the drain stop is a push button. So you push it and it pops up, but we're not getting anything when we push it down. It's not popping up, so it's not draining properly. I can pull it up with my fingers, but it doesn't feel like any water is actually getting drained out of here. So we might need some repairs on that drain stop. There is no overflow protection on this bathtub, so if you have kids using this bathtub and they run the water over, it's going everywhere. Shower itself is working good, no issues with that, but we do have a slow drip leak at the bottom of the shower head right there, because when I got there, there was water running down to the drain right in that area. I checked the toilets, give them a nice shake, especially since they're on this type of flooring. The water heater that's mounted in this closet in behind this panel here, it's an A.O. Smith from 2019. We've got an improper PVC discharge pipe on here. Not only is the pipe improper, but we can't decrease in size, and you can't just connect it without using a connector. Needs to be a connector there. We've got some severe rust going on at the bottom of the tank, so this water heater is in need of replacement and some serious repair at this moment. Ceiling fans are working good. Again, with the smoke detectors, they are all interconnected. No issues with them. Bedroom off to the side with our side whatever you want to call that, tool shed, workshop. Closet back here. This is actually a pretty big closet for a bedroom. The closets on the other side of the hallway aren't quite as big. A little more shut down, a little smaller in here. Small bedrooms. Typical. Same with this bedroom too. That's looking west. We're right at the 202, so the 202 sign is right there. Right off Broadway. So we got access to the crawl space underneath this corner. That's where we entered in. In this bathroom back here, I wanted to point out this downspout is horrendously rusted as well. There's no handle going up to the drain stop right there, so there's no way to operate it. We also have an AAV valve in all of the bathrooms, which air admittance valve. We need that to follow the water down the plumbing system so we don't get a bunch of gurgling. You can see the water lines that they brought in are PEX. There's some water lines underneath the trailer that are exposed that should be cleaned up a little bit and hung up to the bottom of the trailer. Toilet is nice and solid on the ground. Shower is working great, and the shower doors are protected. Got that little stamp of approval down there for safety. And I don't see anything crazy going on. So that's going to conclude our inspection today here in Mesa, right on the edge of Apache Junction. It's a nice house. There's a few things in the crawl space that need to be put up. We need a new water heater. We need to get the HVAC system repaired or at least maintained so we know that it's the right size and doing the right amount of airflow. But other than that, it's a great first time home. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to catch you on the next house. Stay tuned.